Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, lovely people. Hopefully you guys had a great yesterday. I know, kind of like off in terms of magnitude wise, but in terms of timing wise, bang on. Like I said, I don't really care like how far the moves are or what I miss at this point. As long as I'm safe, it's just it's not even about making money at this point. It's just about being right. I'm joking. It's about making money. But let's go ahead and look at that. Yesterday's was a pretty interesting day, to say the least. And we sort of got, I mean, really undercut and it just got super aggressive, and we can see potentially why. So we sort of ended the stream off here, and we said, okay, there's a potential of price going up, but if this sort of behavior continues, we're expecting price to run out this. And surprisingly, it just ran. It just went Forrest Gump and decided to run. Uh, and that's a surprise. But as you can see, like the constant additions, as soon as we saw it, stop streaming, it's just constant additions, constant additions. Then they decided to slam it down, and then our golden time, 10 EST, Eastern, is it EST? Whatever, 10 New York time, 10 a.m. The gold standard time, the time we start trading, we get the perfect pen. We're like, oh yeah, this is lovely, man. It's like it's salivating. It's it's that sort of watery emotion. Sorry for that. Yeah, no, I am still delirious, and I'll continue to be delirious until someone stops me or gives me medication. So let's again. We see that climb up higher, and in terms of spotting things I potentially could have missed, again, I have very selective thinking. Where, oh Jesus, oh, 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 forget about talking about now. We need to look at price now. Oh, what are you doing to me? Oh, baby. Slamming it, but to be honest, it's not a surprise. I mean, looks like we're just adding liquidations on top of liquidations, just an instant sort of punish on this, and you can see this coming off the shelf here, and just saying, you know what? You heard of Elf on a Shelf? Have you heard of liquidation? Oh, god damn it, you control my thinking. I'm meant to be peasy. But yeah, you can just see that surmounting here, instantly sort of punish on this sort of push here. Very interesting to say the least. I mean, creating a nice spike already, sort of reclaiming that, but it is a Wednesday, and we did finally get our Tuesday low finalized here. So this is our range low. I'm trying to be more animated. You can't tell. But we already have our range low for the week, so our weekly high is here, our weekly low is here. We've got a nice little range. 50% comes in pretty much, it's just slightly higher. I can eyeball it. So let's not eyeball it, and let's be professionals. It's, yeah, there we go. Pretty much where it sort of ends up, and this is why I like the Monday to Tuesdays high and low versus the just a Monday, because it gives you a better representation and a more accurate sort of depiction of where your 50% will lie. And you when Wednesday opens, you can really draw that out, because until Wednesday closes, you don't really have a low of the week. We have a tentative low of the week, but you don't really have a low of the week to speak of. We'll drag this out. This is our range. As soon as we break this, we release liquidity. We sort of come into territory stop hunts. I think we're just looking to target this from the looks of things. It doesn't look too good, but at the same time, it doesn't look too bad. Actually, no, this looks terrible. I mean, Asia came in here, London came in high. We're already trading low. If we start closing below, we could run the risk of just dropping. But if we drop into here, midday may catch this, and that's our hope basically. We pin our hope on 12 o'clock today. I don't know why, we just do. and we don't have any news. No, no. Actually, no, we got one at 1 o'clock. I've got the 10-year. Oh, 10-year note auction. Okay, yeah, 10 years really big. FOMC minutes, another Fed speech. So we're planning ahead. It does look like if we continue this downwards momentum, we can look good. So fingers crossed, guys. That's all we can say. I mean, hopefully you guys are not liquidate. But no, now it's sort of calmed. Actually, this hasn't calmed down, has it? Yeah, it's sort of mellowed out. We've got some longs in, but you see these walls here. I think we have potential lower targets, and it just comes off the back end of the week, the Tuesday low, the weekly low that we made here. So it does look like 18,800. Back to that number again. If you remember a week back, we loved that number. Looks like we're loving that number again. Cause loving you is easy when you're beautiful. Do 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 do. Ah. I'm sorry again. I'm always gonna be lucid. But generally, in terms of the entirety of this week, it does look pretty top heavy in terms of traps. It does look like we've shook out a lot in terms of number wise. But I mean, we have plenty to sort of sell out into here. It does look like it's pretty split into this sort of area here. Doesn't look pretty into a bell bottom. It looks top heavy into the week, and that's just thanks to this sort of area here and this sort of buy here. They're slowly bleeding out, and that's key. Is that them bleeding out is what you're looking for. Sort of say we need larger dots, we need bigger, we need more wine. I'm sorry. But it's like something like this is what you're looking for in terms of looking at stop hunts. I mean, we got that here pushed up. We didn't get that. We got a shallow one here, around 2k. Around 2k here. If we get a 2k or 4k here, could cement a nice sort of scenario. Maybe 18,800 is the number we look for. I think we might end up stretching a bit lower. We'll see if that comes out, but I think it does look decent today if we can get some bullish auction numbers. Again, everything's inverse, so 10 years is inversely correlated. So you're looking for people to be out of government bonds, and not be safe. So you go into government bonds to be safe. Or if you trust the government, I mean, no one trusts the U.S. government, especially with Biden in charge. But hey, we're not political here, or are we? No, we're not. Try not to be. Enough tomfoolery, enough skylarking. Let's sort of go back and look at this and dissect yesterday's, because I think we have time. I mean, we have the time in between the bars to sort of talk about yesterday, and because it's always nice to talk about this. Oh, I don't think we do. Actually, now we do. It does look like it's slowing down. Sort of pull out. So again, 18,900 looks like I mean, in terms of daily wise, we slammed it here. I was sort of playing with it here. We took that already out here in terms of sort of nice lows. If we go into sort of a lower time frame and we look at where we want to be with life, oof, not looking good, but no, decent geezer. Decent as it gets. I mean, these are just like death from above. As you see this sort of build up here, it can easily sort of come in, reject and go lower, but we're hoping and we're hopeful for this into sort of a recovery. But we're hopeful if it's 18,800, we're only giving it a stretch to go down to what, 18,250. I just said let's just say 250 to about 500 and some change. Yeah, 550 to be exact, but in 500 and some change, we sort of give it that sort of breathing room, say, okay, look, 500 some change is where we can sort of call things in terms of if we want to still be within sort of buying territory, or more accurately, still be holding into some levels of copium. But generally, I mean, if you look at futures, it's sort of more short than it is long over the sort of course of this sort of period. So it's just looking at this. I mean, you do have this sort of trigger buyers here, the impulse buyers that are just making sure that price continues to go down as they continually are willing to buy into the markets. As we continue to fish for them, they continue to willing to take the bait and then drive the price further down. And essentially, that's what trading comes down to, is just understanding that if a lot of people are doing the same thing, it's not going to work out. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Currency already sort of back up, and it's already sort of looking like it was a flash in the pan. Flash in the pan here. I mean, if we can close above here, it doesn't look too bad. But again, we're looking at the weekly low, especially considering we've already rejected 50%, and we've been rejecting 50% since London start, and we sort of tipped it here. So interested to see if we can take the weekly low out and reverse off that, and like sort of create a nice little push into here, and push and then come back up. Again, whatever I say, it just all depends on time. Everything I do is time based. That's why I can miss this trade here and get this trade here, because I can be very selective, because 10 o'clock, very strict, 10, 12, and this was closed, I think about 15, 14. I think it was about 14, 14:30. It came in around here, somewhere around here. But you see how it's just pretty much lines up with sort of news dates, midday sort of things, timing sort of play around these, and you expect them to play around things and sort of move back and forth. So it's important to sort of pay attention to the preamp before the news, and it's just always it's always courteous to sort of pay attention to 10 o'clock over anything else, because 10 o'clock will sort of give you a guise where the sort of, if you want to trade, if you want to take a quick cheeky scalp. I mean, you got this here, trade, this fell, swiped it out, you see that, you waited in, there's this sort of potential long. I mean, it sort of pushed back down into there. Got my last shot because of railroad on 15 seconds. Oh yeah, that's nice. That's always nice to hear. Again, it's just 10 o'clock. It's like 1:30. Again, just offsets it a bit, just because maybe news came in later that day. It was just setting up a bit later. There's sort of 10 o'clock, spikes it, comes back down. 12 o'clock decides to, you know what, enough of this sort of dilly-dallying. Let's go back and let's move this ball into a different park. 10 o'clock comes in here. We set in, we stop hunt, pushes out, says, you know what, I'm happy with my life. But normally, just looking at sort of things within, and then not trading between sort of the 6:30 EST to 10 o'clock is a nice sort of exercise in discipline. Yeah, discipline. And it's normally, and it'll more often it will be more faithful, because you could have jumped the gun here and said, okay, I'm going short here, and you held through. Now you're now at break even. It's just like, oh, what am I going to do with my life? You start adding, or you start taking away, you start going long here. It's just like, oh no, what am I going to do with my life? But if you just wait, just say, okay, you know, I'm being selective. Even though I see the trade here, I'm not going to take the trade, because it doesn't line up. Oh god damn, these guys are being nasty. What are they doing with me? What are they doing to my girl? Already rising up and just said, oh, you know what, thank you, get liquidated, let's go up. Still sort of holding sort of bated breath for things. I think we can have news. Oh yeah, it's core PPI. Yeah, it's PPI positive negative, we'll see. There you go. Core PPI year on year, it's the same. Consensus was higher. Change of same. It did nothing. Consensus, okay, yeah, actual is a bit. Yeah, the producer price index for the final month in US went up 0.4% month on month, which is nice, which is good, which is bullish. Cost of services rose. Actually, no, it's not. Yeah, it rose. That means prices went up 0.4%. It's bearish. It just means, I mean, like, it's less, like, growth is not as tepid at best. As you can see, I mean, we did have the couple of months where we did go down and prices did sort of try to stabilize, but it's not sort of this malarkey that we had here where it was insane sort of month on month sort of growth. But I mean, that's the year on year, and the core is just yeah, look, it's stagnant, which is hopeful. Just because we really don't we aren't really too hopeful that it can go down in the current climate, especially with energy, a lot of energy sort of problems, especially that being the major one, and it's just that's yeah the major driving factor. Because if you're splitting, where's the split? What's that split? I know there's a website that splits it up for you and tells you the individual changes across the month and find that. Hello, weird sound. Hello. Mic is cutting? Is it? Ah. Wait, seriously? It's good now? Oh, okay. It's so weird. Doing food and energy, interesting. Copy guides, simple services. No, what am I thinking? I'm sick of inflation. Oh, I'm stupid. I'm actually stupid. It's a mixed bag of data. I mean, hey, we're expecting worse. We got, ugh. Like, I don't have like a catch-up bottle to do a catch-up squirt bottle noise, but it's middling at best. Yeah, it's middling at best. No, that's not. There's not too much to say. A bit early on the news, 8:30 news. Everyone's like, whoo. This is why it's just, you know what, some nice practice. I mean, we have this entire sort of area to trade in. Most of the volume being here. Let's actually double check that so I'm not spewing toxic waste. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Most of the volume being concentrated here, so that's where you pay attention to. If we come back in and trade back into that, we also look for 18,800 because that is again the sort of your targeted sort of weekly low. I mean 18,850, but who's counting? I don't know how to count. I'm illiterate. I mean, in terms of I need to clean this chart up, but in terms of what we're looking at, maybe first up we come in here, trade here, start middling, come back here, push down, get a nice little pop, pull back up, look bullish, look like hey ho, hey. I want to see how SE reacted off that. I like SE, it's cute. React the same as Bitcoin, but just goddamn super aggressive. Oh my god. Oh my god, Mr. Canners. Mr. Canners. Oh my god. Yeah, it just slammed it down, just didn't really recover too much in terms of how Bitcoin recovered, but Bitcoin is just more volatile, so Bitcoin will probably snap. Back to reality. Go. Oh, it goes gravity. Ugh. I mean, we have nice sort of internal ranges to trade into within this in the 15-minute sort of zone. I mean, don't get me wrong, not too bad. We've got 359T. In terms of high, we have 3643, 50%. We can sort of draw that out. Yeah, here to here. So it comes in where it's been sort of center of mass between these two bodies. Interesting enough. Again, fun things you can do with numbers. So we'll see if we can try to hold this sort of consolidation area again. We're looking at this and we're seeing two Monday lows here. It's the weekly lows at what 3579. Look at that, see if you can take that, then see if you can go higher off that, take that. We'll see. We will see. I mean, there's not much to say today. I mean, let's like have like off-topic idle chatter until you guys have something interesting to say. I don't know, man. Let's argue. Let's argue about things that will get me cancelled. Let's do that. I want to get cancelled. I want to get off the internet. Then I can disappear without anyone knowing. Being on the internet's made that hard. I disappear for one day and you guys are like, oh my god, oh my god. I want to disappear like and just go off the grid one day and just never come back. That's like get a nice place out in the sticks, just don't talk to anyone. That's life. Coming down, actually, you know what, it is a trading channel, we should be trading. Or about trading, as you can see this entire sort of buy here, like look at that. And this is the key thing to whipsaw. Whipsaw down, whipsaw up. Data is not, it's bleh at best, so we wait for what the funny man on the TV will say at 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Yeah, about 1 or 2 o'clock. I mean 1 o'clock is more better. It's more better. Is better time because that's your 10-year auction, which is very interesting. No consensus on that yet, but we'll see if that moves up or down. See what the yields are for government bonds, and the minutes after that, an hour after. So it's gonna be very hectic today. It's a very crazy Wednesday, but we're already sort of on the low side and we're working the lows, so it's more of a hopeful Wednesday than it is a deterrent, a abhorrent Wednesday. Let's have some extremities in our lives. Abhorrent behavior. But I mean, if we start zooming out, start looking at things, you can see it's just like milling. It's working the lows, like I said. It's just moving down. It's finally sort of it has a finite sort of distance it can sort of go down. Again, maybe one target at the lows. We'll see how low it can go, and that is the question: how low can she go? I heard she bent backwards. Oh, sorry, I'm always gonna be this kooky until I take medication. And I'm never gonna take medication because I have microchips implanted in me. Do you know what it is? I think it's the cosmic radiation that's surrounding us. I need to shield my head against it. If I don't do that, I run the risk of keep going crazy. So I need to start getting some aluminium foil. Oh, yeah, ticker. Interesting. Adam, slam back down to 12.1. We're looking at 12.1 as potential sort of thing. If it if it holds this, we're sort of happy. I mean, we talked about yesterday how it sort of had a finite sort of reach in terms of upward sort of movement, and it didn't even reach that sort of finite reach. It just went eh. And that's the best thing you can say. It just went eh. Just works low, traps liquidity here, and that's the best thing you can ask for is trapping liquidity at sort of key sort of indicated support areas, especially because we're building up volume where we had already sort of done before. So it could be a nice sort of build up on a nice or double leg and another double leg within this double leg. It's nice basically. It's a good one, man. It's a good one. Again, we're just waiting for Bitcoin to stabilize. I think it'll stabilize around this sort of price point. We're getting sort of these sellers coming to the market, and I think it spikes. So actually, I need to look at Bookmap for that. I mean, we're getting people shorting already. I mean, look at that. It just the amount of people just entered short right at the bottom here. Just said, oh, it's going down. It's a massive red bar. Instantly sort of punished past I think this area. So there was probably high leverage liquidations. So like they decided, you know what, going down 100x, let's go, baby. They went, oh, and they went, ah, what am I gonna do? I can't pay for my child's tuition. No, what did I do? But that is life, man. That is life. What are you gonna do? I feel like the only people that listen to me are like, I don't know. Are people that can, I don't know who can put up with my insanity. Like maybe I need to start being more tepid and more controlled. And then it just like feels like my creative freedom just gets stifled. It's like I feel bored. But nevertheless, enough digressing. And I know the only reason, because I can make this 10-minute video and just be done with it and just be like, oh, okay, cool, this, that, and the third. They said they wanted an hour, and I mean 1900 seems like a sure sort of surer number. I mean we could sort of stop out before, but I mean we did get the liquidations high. We're now getting more shorts added into it. We'll see how we play the sort of range, and that's the sort of key thing and key indication we're sort of trying to take away from today is how are we going to play today's sort of session range, and are we going to come out in the low side where we swipe the low. Today's low was the weekly low, because that will be added sort of beneficiary to the upside. We've already spiked 50 here, so if we spike and we get rid of some liquidity here, I don't know why we wouldn't have already done that on this tick, because we would have had a cascade of liquidations. Maybe it was sort of a control measure where they saw the amount of shorts that were added onto this as a triple top. I mean, it's technically a triple top already. They know like maybe if they go up higher, they wouldn't have added more positions, so it's not necessary. Or they ran out of liquidations. Hey, who's to say? I doubt they ran out of liquidations. If you look at the numbers here, there's what, plus 600, 1600. Actually, we can just look at the delta. What, 11 to 36? Yeah, I mean it pushed up massive amounts. but the liquidations went to what? Yeah, yeah. I think most of these will run out anyway, so it did potentially run out of all those liquid people that were entered in high leveraged longs. Only people left would probably be low leverage territory. Uh, but technically it is a triple top, and we did add back into this sort of shelf, so it is kind of troublesome. But if we again look at a bit larger time frames and larger sort of pay heed to that, we did slam back into sort of this territory here, which is again where we have this sort of larger shelf here present, ever watching, saying, this looks tasty. If we sort of build cores here, I mean, trade back into 1900, we start building and then start thickening these shorts, and we see more shorts available. Could be nice, but again, weekly sort of low comes in at 18800 here, so it's a much sort of longer sort of target. If you as you can say, I mean, they did sort of implement a nice little choke here, so maybe we retest here, we push back down, then we get some bullish speeches coming out midday. That's sort of the only sort of saving grace I can think of out of today. I mean, there are a couple outside of that, but if we're sort of trading down, we're probably trading down to go up into sort of midday, into sort of later sort of evening, and we'll see what we can do from the evening sort of times, because again, we can play this weekly range any time of the week, and it's up until Friday. We sort of can pull it up into and just say, okay, you know what, Friday from here to here, this is the weekly range. It can neither expand nor contract any more than this, because it is a set sort of target, and we treat it as such. But again, we have this sort of area here. We're sort of moving, and we start pulling down further and further down into this. We run the risk of treating this as sort of a springboard downwards, and that's sort of where we come into sort of interesting sort of territory. Look at some other altcoins while there's only so much we can talk about one coin. I mean, goddamn Bitcoin, get over yourself. Get over yourself. You're not that good. Okay? Minutes. Lana. No. Do you ever trade ADA? Ada. That's my answer to Ada. I've never believed in Ada. I've never believed in the snake oil peddler that is Charles Hoskin. I believe he's a con man, and to that, talking about con men, I also believe Elon Musk is a massive, gigantic con man. But hey. We're not trying to offend anybody. Okay? We're only trying to speak facts. I mean, sure, it broke low, but I mean, look, it's coming in where it's like, realistically, this was just a pump and dump. Like, at the best. At worst, it was a nice little scam. I mean, it's tapered. I mean, you can sort of build some sort of relations here and there. I mean, you have weekly levels down there. That's a bit too low, but we have weekly levels here. That's pretty nice. We have weekly levels here. That's pretty nice. And also here, we go to daily. We can start seeing where daily levels are. Sure, it broke. It broke with sort of a nice little tape sort of fit, setting the lows in, but what we didn't really see from this is an explosion of orders, an explosion of bids, and you know what, I think we can load it up on Bookmap. Can we go back further? I think we can. Tick size. Hopefully that's the correct tick size. Aha, it does load historical data. That is helpful. We'll load in historical data and we'll see where the large pops were. If we got a large sort of liquidations off that, then yeah, because again, it is nice that it did hit the low, especially on like a quarterly change, so people could see that as a point to sort of cut losses if they entered in last quarter, July, and just said, you know what, let me buy here, and they said, you know what, it's a loss here, let me cut it. But we're not really seeing that behavior out of it, are we? It's not too sort of. I mean, maybe it is relative to itself, but we'll have to see. Maybe it's something you can buy as a pump and dump. I don't know. I just don't believe in the project though. It's one of the things. I mean, out of all the sort of layer ones, it's just I never got behind ETH because I'm a man. I have to get behind the person to get behind the coin. And if I can't get behind you and touch that sweet little. Oh goddamn! Sorry. No. Where's my train of thought? I can't say that. I need to behave myself. Yeah. Charles Hoskin's someone I can't get behind. I mean, break my pelvis. Sorry, I had to. Oh, he was just lining up there. Patty cake. No, but like on serious note, yeah, he's one like alongside what's his face? Who's that guy that says there is no second best? Who's that? That does microstrat. I don't even know these names anymore. The other con men. Basically, I mean, like most sort of influencers are con men. That's what it is. Most of them are peddling malarkey to you for the sake of profit. That's why I just sniff my cocaine. I'm joking. No historical data. That's sad. See, that's why see, historical data on things just cost so much. Actually, no. This should be available on multibook, should it not? Am I bugging? It wants me to sign up. I'll log in. Let me log in. Yeah, there we go. Let the web load. Yeah, you can do this, but you can't do it on exchange. Oh my god. Yes, I mean, you can see, yeah, we do have large sort of volumes, but it's not too sort of nice. Yeah, split's not too bad. Struggling to load it. Oh, what am I gonna do with this? But yeah, we do have a lot of selling, so it is not too bad, I guess. It's more I kind of want to see what October is doing. Starting October, started seeing some selling. Not too bad. You believe in ADA? Oh, okay. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, you can believe in whatever you want to believe in. It's fine. But I generally just like, I just don't like him as a person. But then again, I don't like most people. That's the thing. Like I don't like Elon Musk as a person. Find him horrendous. Find him counterproductive to sort of the advancement of future sort of technology, because he decided to peddle a science fiction idea called the Hyperloop, and he decided to build a boring company, and he's wasting resources that could be done everywhere else, and he has blind followers that will follow him to the grave. Even though he has made no sort of major sort of leap by himself. I mean, he's a smart man, but he's smart at conning people, I guess. That's the thing. He conned a lot of investors into believing in a hyperloop. even though it's structurally not feasible. Like, do the maths. Like, and that's the thing. Maths never lies, and this is why I love math. Because people lie. Maths, people never lie. That's why maths will be my one and only true love. I dedicate this to you. Oh, baby, come back. And it doesn't take that much mathematical knowledge to understand that some of the things that Elon proposes are either ridiculous, stupid, or at worst, him trying to con investors. But he's got a good team, so you can give him that. But again, most rich people have a good team. Because again, it just goes back, just surround yourself with people who are smarter than yourself. And let them do the work. Get yourself some Chinese calculator. I'm joking. Ah. No, I'm not. People will take offense to that. I think it's racial stereotypes, but it's true though. There's always an Asian better than you. Like, I mean, I thought I was smart. Then we had exchange students coming in, and they were Asian. I'm like, oh, I'm Asian, but like, they came off the boat Asian, and they just washed me out the water. I'm like, okay, you know what? Yeah, I now understand where that phrase comes from. There's always an Asian better than you. They just work so hard. I think that's the thing. They just have a better culture, like more strict. I think that's what most kids need nowadays. A good ass whooping. You need to get their asses like the hides tanned. They know to fit. But take us. Oh, this starting to divulge into randomness. You can see that these buys here, it's just ill-advised. It just means there's more potency to sort of say, you know what, we can drive liquidations lower. Even if this starts going up, testing into this, we can drop this pull back up. Something isn't right about Charles. He seems pretentious, yeah, but that's how geniuses word described through history, because they weren't liked. No, there's a thing about being pretentious and being labeled crazy. Geniuses are often labeled crazy and not pretentious. Like, most geniuses were in love with their craft, so they don't have the time to be pretentious. So they are often labeled crazy because they were trying to make leaps and bounds in sort of ideas. But again, some people are just crazy. But some crazy people are smart though. I mean, it's double-edged sword. You have to have the right amount of crazy. I think I'm a bit too crazy to be smart, so I'm like, like the balance is tipped off there. It's like, I got a bit too much crazy in me, not enough smart. If you have enough smart, a little bit of crazy, you get scientists. Most of them, I mean, it's not about being liked, it's about being respected. Most of them did have respect, were respected at even if it was later on in life or after they died. But generally people label someone pretentious as this inferiority. No, but like pretentious people are often snobs, like ha ha ha. They have to rub in, and they have the pretentious people themselves are often people who have the need and the desire to want to be noticed by other people, and they have enough intelligence to warrant, as they believe, to warrant that sort of attention. So they act, you don't know this? It's so easy. How could you not know this? I mean, but yeah, you're right. Some people but like, here's the thing. Like, I've got a good nose for characters. Like, I can sniff someone's barrel and understand if they're good or not. Like I can brown nose someone and like, oh, you know what, something's sus. Something's wrong. I can feel it. Uh, but it's just one of the things you learn. Just start judging characters, and again, most people fall for things. It's just like, okay, cool. It's just like, and it's the thing where it comes back to like, most of them are charismatic. Like, and a because charismatic people do wonders. Oh, there we go. We've got some small buys coming in. Yay! They let up in here. I think they're trying to slam it back into here. I mean, this did come back into an as a choke here. So I'm interested to see what 1911 as a side piece. And jokes. No. 19100. One more question. How do you see yeah, I'll have a look at that. I've been locked out of a couple of things that I need to try to figure out how to get back into it. I have very bad memory. Yeah, and I don't even pay them no mind either. So yeah, I'll have to look at it, see how to do it, and see if there's a way around it. If there is, we got it. If there isn't, it's like, but slowly climbing up, but we're building up cause you can see how much they built up here. I mean, insane amount. I mean, they were losing some steam, but they just instantly from here to here, they built up more than they did from there. It's just a very nice sort of telling, especially if they can take this, they flip the view up, come back down. Oh, that could be a really nice sort of drop down and a push down further. I mean, view up traders are no joke, man. They trade. Look, there was something in the stream that's like, now we got nothing. Like, this is, I don't like this sort of time. Like, I like evening streams because we just do a biopsy of the trading day and give you guys a little once over of what might happen tomorrow. We can call it a day. This we're just waiting on news, and we don't have outcomes just yet because it's trading in a place where it's not advisable to be a trader at or have an opinion at. I mean, you can have some and formulate some opinions. Don't get me wrong. I mean, we can formulate some opinions if we stay above here. When we start pinning away, we could look bullish. I mean, we already came in, had a very sort of tight Tuesday with Ethereum here. I mean, we have a tight high here. There we go. Nice little range, and again, 50% sort of pinned it here. So nice. That's why, again, Monday, Tuesday, like days of the week, time is so overlooked, and I don't know why traders overlook time. It's one axis that you're overlooking. How can you miss out on one whole axis? Is that axis? Axes? Axis? However you say it. My teacher always used to say axes, but then again, she was Irish, so that might have been why. And you have price. You have price as a function of time. If you don't want price as a function of time and you just want price, just use Renko. Since you're using price as a function of time, you pay attention to time. God damn. Pay attention to the days of the week, even though you get lost. I'm not saying Charles is a genius, but that ranks was the best, or he's one at all. I'm saying not many people are liked by everyone, but those are very, very rare, exceptional. Yeah, true. There's the thing, like, even if they're not liked by the general populace, their peers should have some level of respect for them. I don't think anyone respects Charles Hoskin within his own field. Actually, yeah, you know what? They might. Yeah, but then again, conmen are very easy. Like snakes slither, man. They can shapeshift. It's one of when you think of a snake, you think, okay, they can hide very well. You won't see them until they bite you. It's why I don't. It's like most people fall for conmen because they have such a charismatic sort of smile. Like genius or not, I mean, like yeah, sure, he did some code. I mean, he did some code with some people. But like I mean, like his project may be smart, but like the way he's doing things just sniffs a bit wrong. It doesn't pass the smell test. That's the thing. It just doesn't pass the smell test. It just doesn't smell right. And when things don't smell right, you start looking like you don't want to be a part of it. And that's my general philosophy. I'm not saying don't trade the coin. I'm saying just don't. I think I don't believe in any of these coins. I just use them to peddle hate for money. That's a joke. I don't do that. I don't peddle hate. I'm not a Republican. That's also a joke. Yeah, but like going back to ADA, it's not a bad buy. It's not a bad buy. I don't know how much it'll go up by, but in terms of sort of quarterly sort of structure and higher time frame sort of structure, it's decent. We offloaded some on the lows. It's not too bad, especially if Bitcoin acts right. We can definitely put it. I'm just waiting for Bitcoin to hit into this, and after it hits into this, we should get some buys, some trap buys, and this should start flipping green. If we move back a bit, as you can see, this whole area is starting to shift green. Past this point, we have this sort of nice little roof over our heads, and again, like a lot, like no, I can't say that. I'll offend the women. Generally, people who are secularized by someone they don't know because they observed they made. Screaming seems pretentious. I think like I don't know. Man. I know a lot of pretentious people, but then again, I'm surrounded by like I was surrounded by like some middle class like silver spoon kids. Like it's just like oh god damn, and they're British. Like British people like just always come off pretentious. I don't think Charles Hoskin is British, so I mean it's probably some cultural things as well, but like. To me, British people always seem to come off a little bit pretentious. They just always feel like they're superior. Like it's just like oh yeah, like oh sip that tea. It's just the accent, I think. Them British people and them accents. Just like, oh god damn, you just think you're so much better than us. Ugh. What I do, man? I just asked for a bottle of water, innit? But then it's just upper class people. But like, it's like pretentious people. It doesn't mean you have to be smart. Like, it's just your attitude. Like it's just how you grow up. Like most geniuses don't really grow up being pretentious, because they usually grow up humble. Because they either grow up in communist China or another communist country. Nowadays. It's a joke. It's a joke. I agree, don't know about price, can't go left. I think nothing's happening. I think we can probably call it today. It looks pretty boring, but I mean, we'll do it once over. I got to answer the door. Once over. We got whipsaw. Timing wise, we're looking for 2 p.m. here, and also 1. We had our 8:30 sort of PPI, PP. We had a whipsaw. We're probably expecting another sort of sets of whipsaw. We're looking at the weekly range as sort of as a target in terms of potential buyers. Obviously monitoring if they knock out the daily New York range alongside the weekly. Was the way things are moving. First sort of level and first sort of sets is 1900, where we have this sort of volume print here. Is our sort of first level area here. I mean, we already came into sort of this sort of small consolidation. Pull back up, hit back. If we sort of come in and open the day high here, we could definitely whipsaw this upwards. I think that might be the case here. We do a lot of sort of tomfoolery today, but it's just ignore what the price says. Just look at sort of timings and see what patterns are printing relative to the time. And I think that's sort of the best sort of strategy for today, and I think that has been for a while now. It's just ignore what price is doing, just look at time, and there you go. There's time here, time. Most things have been time based, and they'll continue to be time based. So we'll see what 10 o'clock brings, and if we end up having a 9:30 sort of spike high, 9:45 high, 10 take high, then pull back down, and you may call them vectors. I don't care. We just say or do whatever you want, but that'll sort of bring out purchases. But ideal scenario and the best scenario for me is they take this and then they pull down, open a low, position into a long. That's sort of what I want, but you often don't get what you want, and that might be evident today. So we'll see if we get what we want. Again, we're looking at 1911 here. So you'll see that drop again, 18800 at the low. We'll see what happens into the entirety of the day. It looks like it's going to be an interesting day, full of zigs and jags, yeah, whatever you call them. So make sure you trade safe and pay attention to sort of the news. And I know mostly I disregard news, but it's always nice to sort of know what time they're happening. You don't need to know the outcome. Outcome is most often just within the charts, but the time is always important. Have a lovely day, guys, and make sure you guys trade safe. I'll catch you guys same bad time, same bad channel. Peace.